of all, I want to thank the community of Lancaster for their support, for the team in general, and then for me as well. I know that Lancaster is traditionally a big football and basketball town, and I think through everyone in their support has gotten me to where I am today, in part. Also, I want to thank all the volunteers for the swings that keep everything running without timers, people running Colorado system with my dad, volunteers like that. None of this is possible, so thank you all the people that put together all the parties and stuff like that really kept the team together. Also want to thank the parent committee. They put everything together. It really means a lot. Again, it keeps the team together, keeps the team going, keeps all the fun together, even when swimming gets a little daunting during the year. It's really what keeps us going and going. Next, I want to thank the school staff and then also Mrs. Vosser. I think swimming is definitely a growing sport in the school, and that's really important to me because swimming is my passion. I love it, and I want to see the team grow in the future. So with the supportive staff and a supportive athletic director, that really means a lot. So thank you. Next, I want to thank the coaches, Teresa, Mr. State. This year, I didn't really necessarily practice with you guys, but that doesn't mean you didn't have an impact on me. Mr. Staten, obviously very humorous, standing in front of the clock, even though I might have been appeared to be frustrated at the time. It really, it can be really relaxed, and that's something I really need because sometimes I take it a little too seriously. Some of you know, but that keeps me level-headed, and I think that's really important for the sport because now, because of him in part, I enjoy it. That's why I enjoy it so much. And then Teresa, obviously, basically was my everything during the high school season. I can't thank her enough for how much she helped me throughout, especially at States. If I needed her, or I needed someone to fill up the water bottle after I was done, she was on top of it. Where is she? She was great. She was there to give me my splits right when I was done, and she was on top of everything all year. I didn't swim with you guys most practices, but she was always coming up to me asking me what I wanted to swim here and here and there. And she was always very, very flexible. She was always working with me for what I wanted as well as what the team wanted. She always had the team in mind, so she wasn't afraid to tell me, you need to swim this and stuff. And I think that's something I really needed that structure. So thank you very much. Also a special mention to Heather Parkman, who's not here. She's my club coach, and she's been my club coach for six or 7 years, and she's been very important in my life because she's gotten me to where I'm at in the sport today, as far as my athletic gifts. So thank you very much for that. Next, I want to thank my teammates. Underclassmen, it's been fun to see how well you guys have progressed as far as time drops and everything like that. And then upperclassmen, it's definitely been, I think, the most fun year as far as social and then also getting along in and out of the pool. So thank you for that. Also, I want to thank my relay. Obviously, one of the fastest relays the school has ever seen. So Zach, Garrett, Ryan, it's been fun, but it's over now. Then, of course, I got to thank my siblings, Ryan and Megan. Megan is very important to me because she set the example as far as hard work. And, I can't thank her enough for that because I saw, as a younger kid, although I don't really remember it, I just remember, she was the first person I saw going through all that hard work and determination. And that's what I knew, that's what I wanted to recreate in my sister. And then, kind of like Mr. Staten, Ryan's my source of humor, and he keeps me level-headed. So even at 5 o'clock in the morning when I'm waking up to get in the cold pool, look at him right now. He's seriously tough sport, but he's also very funny at the same time. Even at 5 in the morning, he's never too shy to yell boys or something as we get in the water. Keeps me relaxing, keeps me enjoying the sport, so thank you. And then last but not least, most importantly, I gotta thank my parents, my mom, my dad. I mean, it goes without saying, every practice that they took me to, I mean, I can go on forever. The support, the love, I just can't say enough about what they've done for me. They put me in the sport at 4 years old, and I've loved it ever since, and I can't thank them enough for that. So, as far as the rose goes, kind of play off of what I just said. I'm going to give this to my mother because she has been most instrumental in my swimming career, and this is what tonight is about, my swimming achievements. But also it goes beyond that. She has pushed me to my limits academically, which is far more important than swimming, even though swimming is my passion. So I thank her for everything she's done for me in school, swimming, life in general. She's always there for me, picking me up from practice, driving me to practice every day, even sometimes 5 in the morning. Can't thank you enough, so I want to give this to her.
Boy, am I glad I decided to join this year. I wasn't sure if I'd come back, but when I heard Teresa was coaching, yes, you, and the team had grown, I thought I'd give it another shot. This team has been amazing. The new friends I've made, and the ones I've had forever. It's gone by too fast. I want to thank Teresa and, oh, there you are. for always being so positive and fun to work with. I also want to thank you, Stacy, for always giving me a ride home. And you, Brandon, for making my day. And Yaka for always supporting me. And you too, Zach. You.
to the new swimmers, stick with it. It was so fun to watch everyone improve throughout the season. And I want to thank the coaches. I think we probably laughed more than we swam this season. And I think that's what makes the season unforgettable. So I want to thank you both for that. And then I want to thank my parents. They're my biggest fans. They've been the hundreds of practices they've driven me to over the past 12 years. All the swim meets, I mean, the support and the love is just overwhelming. With that being said, I want to give my rose to my mom. She's been my biggest motivator. You know, she'd always have her beat sheet rolled up and flicking it down the pool, even though I had no idea she was there. I knew she was doing it. So I just want to thank you for pushing me.
Not the medals or bragging rights around shaving legs, although those are good parts. It's the people that the sports draws in. It's these guys right here, all of you. It's the confidence that you gain as a person when you achieve your set goals, or even just doing something that you know would have been impossible before. I want to thank Teresa and Staten for making this year so special. Staten for the comic relief, and Teresa for believing in me. Even though I may not have gotten the times I wanted, I gained the confidence that I lost in previous years. I want to thank you guys for that. As for the passing of the rose, I wish I could give one to everyone in this room, because you all deserve it. Not only for supporting me as a person, but also kids on this team. I know they would all give you this if they had the chance. I still couldn't come down to one rose to say I have an extra rose. My first rose I would like to give to someone who supported me through thick and thin, listening to my complaints and praises through not only this year, but 17 years of my existence. And I want her to know she deserves a lot more than this rose, but it's all I have for now, so I'd like to give it to her. Okay. My second rose I saved for the team, and I still couldn't pick one person. So this rose goes to two beautiful young people who made this season, as well as last, so much better than it could have been. From practices to bus rides, car rides, swimmer proms at home and at school. These people made my last season so special, and I wish the best to them in the upcoming season, and I hope that I at least came close as an inspiration to them as they were to me.
Okay, well, I had a speech
Thank you. Okay, I came into swimming 4 years ago, never swimming before on an actual team, and I didn't know what, I had always played softball my entire life, and I didn't know what the swimming bond was going to be like. And I wasn't really close with anybody, and I didn't know a whole lot of people, but over the past 4 years, I feel like we've all grown into a family. And as the other classmen come in, we just accept them and we bring them into our family. First off, I want to say thank you to our coaches, especially Teresa, seeing me swim, as you heard my breaststroke before. Wasn't too pretty, but she put confidence in me to keep going and to push myself to do my very best, even though I knew that swimming was just what I did for fun. And Mr. Staten for yelling at me the entire Pickerington Central Invitational. But I broke what time I wanted to, and that's what was most important. He kind of gave me a laugh all the time, actually. To the underclassmen, keep pushing yourself, guys. This is, even if you don't want to swim for the rest of your lives, this is something that you can look back on and that I know I miss already, and it's only been a month. As you can see, I, like Allie, couldn't pick out who I wanted to give my rose to. So I want to give my rose to Danielle. She has one of the best work ethics, and stop crying. She has pushed me to keep going, and she has listened to all my complaints every practice, and I'm so thankful. I couldn't give my parents just one rose because no matter what, they have supported me through everything, and when I told them my freshman year that I wanted to swim, it was kind of out of nowhere, and they just took it in stride and said, well, then let's go to practice. So I want to thank them for everything they've done for me, and thank my parents because when I would come home from a tough practice, I might not be the most pleasant person to deal with, but they were always, they understand maybe we should let her go off and not bug her for a while, and, they were always supportive. I don't come from a family where we eat, sleep, breathe, swimming, but they would try to help me, try to give me tips and pointers, and I really appreciate it, which is why I want to give my rose to my parents.
I guess I'm last. I usually say best for last, but I really wish I was once. I've been swimming for literally longer than I remember. I've blamed the memory loss on the swimming and the oxygen deprivation. But about a third of the way, or a quarter of the way through this year, I had something pop on my shoulder at practice. I got out, it started to hurt. An MRI later, and the doctor told me I wasn't going to be able to swim competitively anymore. It was just done. Now, I understood that I probably could if I got in and I worked it back and I really worked hard, but there was the fear of me in me that didn't want to risk hurting it and risk getting a surgery. I made the wrong choice. I should have stayed in for every day and every minute I could have spent with these wonderful group of swimmers. This, and the coaches involved, and Mrs. Bosser and everybody are the greatest people I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. And I love every one of you. I came up here and I had stuff written down, and I thought I wasn't going to be the one that cried. But I am. And I can't go from the script, because I love every one of you guys. And even though I wasn't there, I never felt like any less than part of the team. And you all made me feel great, even though I couldn't participate. I want to thank Teresa for dealing with me, even though I gave her a hard time. Every practice I was there, every meeting I was there. I didn't really give her a break. I want to thank Staten because, well, we bonded. We had a lot in common, and I know I get a little bit distracted and then in trouble with Teresa at practices where we just get to talking. I'd like to thank my longtime swimming friend, Chris DePietro. I've swam with him since, again, before I can remember, and he's been a best friend to me for all these years. And lastly, I'd like to thank my dad, who has encouraged me to do everything that I've ever wanted to do in life, whether it be completely feasible or insane and possibly dangerous. No matter what my dreams were in life, my dad was the first person to say, well, then go do it. And I want to give my rose to my dad. One last quick thank you is to all of the seniors. Some of you have been on the team as long as I have, and others of you joined this year or retired and came back. You guys made this experience, even though I wasn't participating, the best swimming year of my life. And I want to thank each one of you for that. I love you.